The Marine Corps requires leaders of all ranks to have a deep understanding of war and the employment of force. MCDP 1 reminds Marines that the military profession is a thinking profession. Every Marine is expected to be a student of the art and science of war. It goes on to say that every Marine has an individual responsibility to study the profession of arms. Self-directed study in the art and science of war is at least equal in importance to maintaining physical condition and should receive at least equal time. The Marine Corps Association understands the critical importance of ensuring that Marines are as mentally ready for combat as they are physically ready. That is why we offer an entire page dedicated to wargaming on our website. We have recommendations for both tabletop board games as well as computer games. And for Marine Corps Association members, there is a discount code for War Game Design Studios that you can find on the website. War games are a great way to immerse yourself in history and to put yourself in the shoes of the great leaders of history. Go beyond guided instruction and experience the thrill of wargaming. Check us out at mca-marines.org/decision-making-exercises/wargaming-2. That's mca-marines.org/decision-making-exercises/wargaming-2. Take your training to the next level. Hey Scuttlebutt listeners, welcome to episode 203. This week, we began our audio-only Modern Day Marine 2025 series. As with the previous MDMs, we were recording from the showroom floor, but as some of you know, this year we recorded some on video for our YouTube channel, and others we recorded as audio-only podcasts. So for the next few weeks, we'll be releasing these audio-only conversations that range from veteran support organizations to future ops and wargaming to Toys for Tots. We're really looking forward to sharing these conversations with you. This week's episode features the president of the Marine Scout Sniper Heritage Foundation, Tim Parkhurst. Tim talks to us about the history of the Marine Scout Snipers, his efforts to continue to collect and increase the awareness of the Marine Scout Snipers, and his foundation's efforts to build a Scout Sniper War Memorial at the Semper Fidelis Memorial Park. This is a great conversation about the legacy of these storied Marines. This is episode 203. Hey Scuttlebutt listeners, thank you for joining us and your continued support. I'm Vic, I'm here with Nancy.
Hey Vic, how you doing?
And we're here recording from Modern Day Marine 2025, day 3.
Yeah.
It's, this is I don't want to say it's a marathon because it's only 3 days. That sounds silly, but it's a slugfest. I think we, and you, Nancy, in particular, have shown a lot of grit over the past few hours.
Aww.
So yeah.
Thanks, Vic.
Yeah, really
What do you
inspiration.
Want? What do you want?
I got some notes.
Okay.
But we're excited to be welcoming Tim Parkhurst to the show. So
yeah,
thanks
for
being
having me.
here. Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
And you are, and I apologize if I don't get your billet correct, but you're with the Scout Sniper Heritage Foundation.
Yes. Yeah.
And you're working on gaining support for the Scout Sniper Memorial that's going to be on the Marine Corps Museum,
the Park.
Walk of Fame. I was going to call it the Walk of Fame.
Yeah, that's not what it's called.
Or the Walk of Infamy, as it may be. But
well, once the Amtrak memorial goes up, it sure will be.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know Sergeant Major Behue. He's a great guy. He's working hard on that project.
Amazing.
But I'm sort of his counterpart over on the Scout Sniper side.
Awesome.
I'm the president of the Scout Sniper Heritage Foundation, and we're trying to build a memorial to honor our war dead, going all the way back to World War I, and for future conflicts. So this will be for all time, to honor any Marine Scout Sniper that's been killed in action.
That's really cool. We just, for our upcoming Road to 250 episode, we did a documentary review of, it's called Hero Marines, or Devil Dogs Hero Marines of World War I, and it was from the French historian and park curator of Belleau Wood.
Oh yeah.
I think he's one of two foreign honorary Marines. Anyhow, really long way of saying. So it's really interesting you mentioned World War I because it's still kind of fresh in my mind as we're coming up on the Marine Corps Association's Road to 250 time period is coming up.
And it's significant to us because most Marines, most anybody didn't know that we had Scout snipers in World War I or
please tell
World
us
War
about
II.
that.
Well, yeah, so, I became a Scout sniper in 1991, and, pretty much everybody I know was in the same position. We had no idea. What we were taught about our history was Carlos Hathcock in Vietnam, know, and Chuck Mawhinney and guys like that. And, that was the beginning of the modern program. It was born out of Vietnam, but we just never knew. We had heard that there were snipers before, and we didn't know what the program looked like. Was it a formal program? Did the Commandant of the Marine Corps direct it to be, to exist?
Just guys who are really good at shooting.
You shot expert. Here's a scoped rifle. Go do God's work, right? And we heard rumors that Lee Marvin, the actor from The Dirty Dozen, that he was a Scout sniper, but nobody could ever prove that to me, so I just sort of dismissed it. Well, guess what? It turns out he actually was a school-trained Scout sniper.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He attended Scout Sniper School at Camp Elliott, California in 1942. And he was with 24th Marines, and his sniper platoon was disbanded right before the Battle of Saipan. And the reason for that, we think, is because 6th Marine Regiment had a Scout Sniper platoon, and they were the assault element. And so we're thinking that the landing force commander at the time decided that only the assault element's going to have a Scout Sniper platoon. I'm not sure what that reasoning was, but that's what it appears. And then after Saipan, 24th Marines reconstituted their Scout Sniper platoon and fought on Iwo Jima. And so that platoon, they were actually in the reserve for the Battle of Iwo Jima, and landed late on the day on landing day. It was late in the day on the 19th when they hit the beach, and they used them to plug gaps in the line between battalions. Big gaps that maneuver units should be in. Like whole companies and battalions. And this one little platoon, they took 80% casualties during the Battle of Iwo Jima.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Well, and if you go further back to Tarawa, everybody's familiar with William Dean Hawkins. Lieutenant Hawkins earned the Medal of Honor posthumously on Tarawa. He was a Scout Sniper platoon commander. What people really don't know is that he actually was an enlisted Scout Sniper. He also attended Scout Sniper School at Camp Elliott in 1942, and then when 2nd Marines deployed and went to Guadalcanal, he fought there. He was a sergeant. He earned his battlefield commission, and then when 2nd Marine Division went to Australia and New Zealand after Guadalcanal, he was pinned on his lieutenant bars, and they said, "Hey, you're going to be a Scout Sniper platoon commander, and pick your 40 guys from anywhere in the regiment and train them," and he did. And so they landed on Tarawa, and in the space of 72 hours. He wins a Medal of Honor. One of his men win a Navy Cross and 15 Silver Stars in the space of 72 hours. Tarawa was obviously a vicious fight.
Yeah.
But we talk all the time in the Marine Corps in general about standing on the shoulders of giants, and we talk about our legacy. And what we're finding in the Scout Sniper community is that the legacy of valor is way deeper than we ever imagined. And there are far more of those giants on whose shoulders we stand than we ever imagined.
Yeah, it's interesting. We were just talking to Sergeant Major a little bit about that, how we definitely, lift up and exalt the names that of, the John Bassalones and the, General Lejeunes and all of these folks. But there are so much more in our legacy within recent history even as well. But you're right, 100% standing on the shoulders of giants for sure.
So how would you like to hear a story from World War I of a guy you've never heard of and probably should?
I am all about it.
Yes.
So
this is the place for that.
Yeah.
Opal Lee Wagoner. So
his name was Opal?
Opal.
Okay.
O-P-L-E. Who names their kid that, right?
That's not short for something?
No, Opal Lee Wagoner.
Okay.
And he goes to France with 6 Marines in 1917 as a private. He comes back the following year as a gunnery sergeant.
Wow.
He's a sniper. And he's awarded a Navy Cross, a Distinguished Service Cross, and 5 Silver Stars in a year.
In a year.
In a year. And he's one of several who we found that are just like that. There's a guy named Fenton. I can't remember his first name off the top of my head. He was a vaudeville guy, an entertainer, both before and after the war. But he was wounded multiple times.
Yeah.
And earned a Distinguished Service Cross, a Navy Cross, and Silver Stars. It's just, if you were in France and you were in the major battles and you were an infantryman, you were probably going to,
if you survived,
see some stuff.
Yeah. That's the key right there if you survived.
Yeah. So how would that work then back then? Was there an MOS for Scout Sniper, or was it what we talked about?
That's a great question.
Shot.
Yeah, so
stay here and
it really was kind of that.
Okay.
So we had a formal school in 1918 right here at Quantico. They had Scout Sniper School, and they ran 450 Marines through that school in 1918. But the schoolhouse didn't stand up and start putting students through until the spring of 1918. Our guys the 4th Marine Brigade was already over there in 1917.
Right.
And those guys are the ones who saw the bulk of the combat, starting with Verdun in the spring, and then Belleau Wood in June, and then the tough campaigns in the fall leading up to the end of the war. Those were the guys. So most of the Marines who attended the school at Quantico didn't actually see action, but they still had Scout Snipers, and they were directed to do so by none other than Blackjack Pershing, commander of the AEF. And he directed in January of 1918 that every infantry formation in the AEF should have 6 snipers per company. And they were to be in the company, not organized separately. And he dictated exactly the equipment that they were to be issued, a telescopic rifle, a periscope, a map and protractor, a compass and a map protractor, and different things like that. And that he was very specific in how he wanted them to be equipped, but they were to be utilized within the company. And so it was the company commanders that basically designated who was going to be the Scout Sniper in a Marine company.
Yeah.
And so that's the really difficult thing for us, because when we decided we were going to build a memorial to honor our war dead, we very quickly turned our thoughts to, well, who is it we're honoring? Are we going to put a list on the memorial? Are we going to, create a written list? How's this going to work? And we realized very quickly that nobody can tell us who was killed in action from our community. That who, they can't say these are the guys that were Scout Snipers in World War I or World War II or even Vietnam. And so we're having to go back and do the research to try to, as best we can, identify as many as we can.
And what are you guys doing? Like what kind of, is it forensic work? Is it history work? Is it all of the above?
Yeah, kind of. Okay. I mean, we're doing archival, historical archival
like
research.
Looking at like manifest sheets or
sort of, yeah. So that kind of thing, absolutely. We're trying to dig up documents that may have come from the schoolhouses that have rosters of students.
Yeah.
For example, World War II, there were 2 schoolhouses. We had a Scout Sniper school on the West Coast at Camp Elliott, and we had one on the East Coast at New River, North Carolina. We already have 4 or 5 rosters of graduating classes from New River, but we don't have any from the West Coast. And we're not sure why we're not finding them, but we're trying to dig through unit records and things like that. Those units no longer exist. It was Fleet Marine Force Training Command or whatever, which obviously is a historical unit. But we're trying to find records from that time that may contain these letters from the OIC of Sniper School to the Commandant of the Marine Corps that literally list all of the graduates. And, so Lee Marvin graduated from that. We know it because it's in his SRB, but we don't know it from rosters.
Yeah.
Right. Another way that we're finding names is through muster rolls. So in the modern era, we have the morning report. Everybody checks in, has a formation in the morning, and they do the morning report. Back in the day, it was a monthly muster roll.
Yeah.
And those muster rolls are very informative. And in World War II, Scout Snipers were given an MOS. We actually had the 761 designation. And so we're finding a lot of guys that way, just kind of scrolling through muster rolls. And we've also found other anecdotal evidence articles in Leatherneck magazine, for example.
Yes. Thank you. So I
yeah.
didn't have to do that myself.
Great tie-in.
I cannot thank you. Yeah, June
Nancy,
issue.
you have been a huge resource. And
Thank
so
you.
Joffrey Roker, who wrote that article back in, was it January or February issue?
Yes.
On Iwo Jima.
February.
Yeah.
Yep.
January, February, yes.
That was
Yes.
Well,
it was the February issue. Yes.
Well, that was a fantastic article because, like I said earlier, we knew about 24th Marines having a platoon prior to Saipan, and we knew that they disbanded it, but we had no idea that they reconstituted their sniper platoon for Iwo Jima. And so that article shed a whole new light on the way we thought about the organization during that time frame.
And Jeff is an incredible researcher.
He is. Yeah, we've reached out to him. He's going to be a good friend of ours for a while.
Yes. And then in
yeah.
the June issue of Leatherneck, coming up soon, shameless plug, is an article about your organization and about. I'm setting you up for this next thing.
This is
I'm ready.
This is like gold right here. So you're talking in the article about what your objective is, what your goal is, and kind of what brings you here to Modern Day Marine. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So what brings me to Modern Day Marine is we need to get the word out to every Marine that we are building a memorial to honor our war dead. And there's never been one. It's about time. We have a 105-year history of proudly serving in the infantry as the backbone of the Marine Corps. And that's the thing that was unique about Scout Snipers is that we belonged to the infantry from day one. All the way through our history, we were part of the infantry. So to be a Scout Sniper, generally speaking, you had to be an infantryman in an infantry unit already, and then you become a Scout Sniper and you support the very same guys that you were one of.
Yeah.
Right? And so there's this symbiosis that occurs there. When I was a 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines, those were my Marines. I'm a Scout Sniper now. I'm in a different platoon, but I'm still in 3-5, and those are my guys.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do my level best to protect them and give them overwatch and do the different things that snipers do. And that's what makes us, really unique. And the fact that we take the word scout and the word sniper and put them together to describe one man, that's also unique to Marines.
Mm-hmm.
No other service does that. Every military service, foreign, U.S., the Army,
the sniper
whoever,
is just the thing,
or
the
sniper.
scout is
It's just a shooter,
Right.
And most other militaries kind of followed our pattern when our modern school opened up at Quantico in 1977, utilizing Carlos Hathcock's lessons learned and things like that. It was very heavy on the field skills and the observation and the collecting and reporting of information, being the eyes and ears of the commander. And that's what we were famous for and always have been. Some have said that not doing that here in recent years is what led to our being dissolved a couple of years ago. I would say that if you want a lance corporal or a corporal or a sergeant in a sniper platoon to focus more on collecting information, then his commanding officer should tell him to.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
Right.
I would say you can't blame it on the Scout Sniper for not focusing on that if that's what the complaint is.
Right.
Because a Marine will do what he's told to do, right? But anyway, we've had a really unique sort of symbiotic relationship with the infantry because we are infantry and we're very proud of it. And we're also one of the only military communities anywhere throughout the military that has suffered casualties that equal its active duty population.
Wow.
So when you look at say the Green Berets, for example, they've probably got 6,000 to 8,000 soldiers in the Green Berets. I'm pretty sure they don't have 6,000 to 8,000 casualties over the years, right? We 300 to 400 Scout Snipers on active duty at any given time, and we're approaching that number in our casualty list. So it's pretty significant sacrifice over a long period.
Yeah.
And talk a little bit about the memorial, the design of it, and where it's going to be, and also then how folks can contribute or be a part of this.
Absolutely. So just, to find us, scoutsniperheritage.org. That's our website. We're on all 4 of the major social channels. So the concept is a 2-man sniper team. And the older the observer in the sniper team is a World War I era Marine, wearing a World War I uniform, carrying a World War I rifle, and he's standing and he's pointing towards the target, maybe, or towards the future, if you will. It's an allegory.
Yeah.
And he's got a hand on the shoulder of the shooter, and the shooter is an Afghanistan era Marine.
Okay.
And so our last combat deployment was Abbey Gate, and so the team leader for one of the sniper teams there is a friend of ours, and we're going to make his uniform and kit look exactly like this Marine who's still on active duty. And so it's going to be 100% historically accurate in every detail. We actually got a laser scan of the 1903 A5 Winchester rifle.
Oh, interesting. That's awesome.
An original one.
Yeah.
So that we have the 3D model.
That's
of
cool
it for the sculptor to use.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna put this sculpture in the Semper Fidelis Memorial Park at the National Museum of the Marine Corps. We've already chosen the site that we want. Of course, we got to pay for it still. We got to go through our review process with the Marine Corps Heritage Foundation and everything. So that's all yet to be done. But yeah, we've got the perfect location, and Sabin Howard is our sculptor of choice. And if you haven't heard of Sabin Howard already, he's the guy who did the National World War I Memorial that's out there next to the White House.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Yeah, so that was unveiled last year in September.
Yeah.
And he worked for almost a decade on that project. It's a 58-foot long, 10-foot high sculpture with 38 human figures in it that are all larger than life. And it's just phenomenally moving, the emotion and the spirit, the human spirit that he's able to capture. He came to one of our reunions at the National Museum of the Marine Corps 2 years ago and met us, and we met him, and we had 105 Scout snipers there that met him, and they were like, yeah, he's our guy.
Okay.
Wow,
And
that's
so,
impressive.
Yeah, whatever it takes to pay his fee, we're going to do it. And so we've got a heavy lift financially to pay the bill, but we're working on it. And what people can do to help is just spread the word.
Okay.
We're a very, very small community. Very few people know who we are or much about us. Everybody's heard of us. Go to a bar on a Saturday night.
Right.
Half the guys are Navy SEALs, the other half are Scout Snipers, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, but yeah, nobody really knows what we're doing, and we just need to get the word out. And if you want to help more, by all means, shoot me an email. You can look us up on our website. And
Well, I'll link. I'll put your LinkedIn on the show description.
Perfect. That's awesome. Yeah.
So, but we can find you specifically on LinkedIn.
Yes.
And then we can go to the Scout Sniper Heritage Foundation website, Instagram and Facebook and that stuff.
We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and X.
Great.
Also, check out the June issue of Leatherneck.
Absolutely.
Tells your story in a little more detail, and all that information about where to find you is there. And in addition to that is a really beautiful drawing of what the memorial is going to look like, and it is beautiful. Looks incredibly moving.
Yeah. Well, that initial concept drawing that you see, that was done by a guy named Ben Cantwell. He's a tattoo artist.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
He just pulled the idea that was in our heads and got it on digits. And,
well, I mean,
but when Sabin Howard comes to work,
Yeah.
it's going to be a whole new level. I
Yeah.
mean, it's going to be amazing.
I'm sure.
Looking
Well,
forward to seeing
tattoo artists and Marines, and that kind of goes hand in hand too.
Yeah.
So that's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, Tim, thank you so much for coming and
Yeah,
sharing
thank you
with
for
us, and we'll
dropping
definitely
by.
try to help get the word out for you.
Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Scuttlebutt is a production of the Marine Corps Association. You have heard the voices or contributions from Major Vic Rubel, USMC retired, Nancy Litchman, William Truding, and our guest. Ty Frazier is the editor, sound engineer, and technical producer. The Marine Corps Association is not an agency of the U.S. government. The opinions expressed in this episode are the personal views of the participants and do not reflect the official position of the United States Marine Corps, the Department of Defense, or the Marine Corps Association.